guess who's back? Bubba G. And Bubba G is teaching Bible basics for all those who want to know, but especially those 10 and under, because you need to learn. In the last video, we were looking at Samuel. Remember? God started talking to Samuel. He said, here am I. What you need to know? He said, Samuel, listen up. He told them some things about Eli's family. Remember? So, the man was a prophet. Samuel was a prophet. He was speaking to the people. He said, get rid of those gods, those foreign gods, and worship the Lord only. So now, in this video, we gonna see that the children of Israel, they want a king now. We said, we don't want the judges no more. We want a king like the other people around us. They have kings, we want a king. So this is what we're going to talk about. It's 1 Samuel chapter 8. When Samuel grew old, he made his sons judges in Israel. The older son was named Joel, and the younger one, Abijah. They were judges in Beersheba, but they did not follow their father's example. They were interested only in making money, so they accepted bribes and did not decide cases honestly. Then all the leaders of Israel met together, went to Samuel in Ramah, and said to him, look, you are getting old, and your sons don't follow your example. So then appoint a king to rule over us, so that we will have a king, as other countries have. Verse 6, Samuel was displeased with their request for a king, so he prayed to the Lord. And the Lord said, listen to everything the people say to you. You are not the one they have rejected. I am the one they have rejected as their king. So God is saying, I'm your king. You want a king, but I'm your king. But they rejected God. Ever since I brought them out of Egypt, they have turned away from me and worship other gods. And now they are doing to you what they have always done to me. So then, listen to me. Back up. Verse 9. So then, listen to them, but give them strict warnings and explain how their kings will treat them. Samuel told the people who were asking him for a king everything that the Lord had said to him. This is how your king will treat you, Samuel explained. He will make soldiers of your sons. Some of them will serve in his war chariots, others in his cavalry, and others will run before his chariots. He will make some of them officers in charge of 1,000 men, and others in charge of 50 men. Your sons will have to plow his fields, harvest his crops, and make his weapons and the equipment for his chariots. Your daughters will have to make perfumes for him and work as his cooks and his bakers. He will take your best fields, vineyards, and olive groves and give them to his officials. He will take 1/10 of your grain and your grapes from his court office for his court officers and other officials. He will take your servants and your best cattle and donkeys and make them work for him. He will take 1/10 of your flocks, and you yourselves will become his slaves. When that time comes, you will complain bitterly because of your king, whom you yourselves chose. But the Lord will not listen to your complaints. The people paid no attention to Samuel, but said, no, we want a king. So we will be like other nations, with our own king to rule us and to lead us out to war and to fight our battles. Ooh, did you see that? Remember, the Lord was fighting for them. But now they said, we want a king to fight our battles. Big problem, big problem. Samuel listened to everything they said and then went out and told it to the Lord. The Lord answered, do what they want and give them a king. Then Samuel told all the men of Israel to go back home. Tragedy. Chapter 9. There was a wealthy and influential man from Kish, from the tribe of Benjamin. He was the son of Ebiel and grandson of Zerah, and belonged to the family of Bechorath, a part of the clan of Ephia. He had a son named Saul, a handsome man in the prime of his life. Saul was a foot taller than anyone else in Israel, and more handsome as well. Wow. So he was tall and he was good looking. Some donkeys belonged to Kish had wandered off. So he said to Saul, take one of the servants with you and go and look for the donkeys. They went through the hill country of Ephraim and the region of Shalisha, but did not find them. So they went on through the region of Shalem, but the donkeys were not there. Then they went through the territory of Benjamin, but still did not find them. When they came into the region of Zuph, Saul said to his servant, let's go back home, or my father might stop thinking about the donkeys and start worrying about us. The servant answered, wait, in this town there is a holy man who is highly respected because everything he says comes true. Let's go to him, and maybe he can tell us where we can find the donkeys. If we go to him, what can we give him? Saul asked. There is no food left in our packs, and we don't have a thing to give him, do we? The servant answered, I have a small silver coin. I can give him that, and then he will tell us where we can find them. Saul replied, a good idea. Let's go. So they went to the town where the holy man lived. As they were going up the hill to the town, they met some young women who were coming out to draw water. They asked these women, is the seer in town? At that time, a prophet was called a seer. And so whenever someone wanted to ask God a question, he would say, let's go to the seer. Yes, he is, the young woman had answered. In fact, he is just ahead of you. If you hurry, you will catch up with him. As soon as you go into town, you will find him. He arrived in town today because the people are going to offer a sacrifice on the altar on the hill. The people who are invited won't start eating until he gets there because he has to bless the sacrifice first. Okay. Let's go to verse 17. When Samuel caught sight of Saul, the Lord said to him, this is the man I told you about. He will rule my people. Then Saul went over to Samuel, who was near the gate, and asked, tell me, where does the seer live? Samuel answered, I am the seer. Go on ahead of me to the place of worship. Both of you are to eat with me today. So what do we see? We see Saul is chosen to be king. God said, this is the man that I told you about. This is the man. He will be the king, and he will rule over Israel.